Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to South Asia Championship League powered by LG UltraGear. We are in the second day of the quarterfinals. Today we have LowNine versus VP 14K as the game goes back to the lobby because of a champion select bug. But don't worry, we'll be back again with more League of Legends action once we get into the champion select.
Numerous forces aimed at the Earth. And injustice. Let the glorious battle begin. Geared up for victory. LG UltraGear Gaming Monitor. Numerous forces aimed at the Earth.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, apologies for that mishap, but we are back with more League of Legends action in the South Asia Championship League powered by LG UltraGear. Today we have a quarterfinal match between LowNine and VP14K. My name is Redbrew, and today in the caster's desk I have with me Sia. So we're looking at a very strong team composition here for team composition. No, it'll be a very strong team here in the form of 14K and LowNine. So where do you think this game is gonna go?
I mean, I'm really just excited to see a cracker of a game. I expect it to be really close. But off the bat, Ilawi, I'm really surprised. All the bans are fine, but then I see an Ilawi ban, and I'm just like, wait, what? Like, what is happening here?
In addition to that, I don't think we've ever seen a Zed ban in this tournament or any other tournament for that matter for a while since he's been busted since season 4, and then he was just basically ultra nerfed in season 7 or 8. Yeah, so a Zed ban, really interesting. I think they might be just banning out a few pocket picks from LowNine.
Yeah, it makes sense. I think even the Ilawi ban is somewhat of a pocket pick for somebody on the 14K. And the Rengar first pick coming out, oh, wow. Like, okay, I mean, Rengar is a good champion in general, but first pick on blue side, what do you think about that?
That just goes to show how 14K are willing to take those risks by picking up a jungler that might be counterpicked by LowNine, because Rengar is a very feast or famine champion, right? So if you do not get ahead with him in the early game or the mid game, you're just gonna fall off in late game because you might not be able to get those items that you need as a item heavy jungler in the late game that you need to basically burst down a carry at that stage of the game. So it's gonna be interesting to see how he plays out against that team composition of LowNine that they're just pulling out the standard meta comp with the Ezreal and Seth just picked up right now. But yeah,
Yeah, I would also really like to see the Kha'Zix come out for LoL9 perhaps if the jungler plays it. Kha'Zix is really strong and is traditionally supposed to be a really good matchup into Rengar. But Kog'Maw Lulu, I was just gonna say Kog'Maw is a decent pick because it can be flexed into the mid lane as we've seen recently. But Kog'Maw Lulu is definitely going to the bot lane.
yeah, basically they just showed their cards with that Lulu pick. It is to basically protect the Kog'Maw, but the Rengar doesn't really go with that team composition, so I think they do want more versatility in terms of how they want to play out the fights. So yeah, Syndra pickup is the last one for the first phase of the bans. But yeah, interesting strategy coming out from LowNine, choosing to show the mid laner at the onset.
Yeah, I'm right now. I'm seeing a lot of comfort on the side of 14K versus a meta game plan for Low9, and the Shen ban coming in makes a lot of sense for me. Shen Rengar is actually a really strong combo because you have a tank in the top lane that is a really good like weak side player, and then you also have that late game guarantee of the Rengar surviving after he's able to one shot somebody.
Right. So right now in the second phase of the ban, we do see that 14K have opted to not play against the Graves, which is their first ban of the second phase. But looking at LowNine, they just banned out the top laner Shen and Malphite. So basically the tank top laners that they really don't want to deal with, which
Yeah,
is
but I'm
interesting.
really confused about the Fiora ban here. I would have naturally assumed that this set is going to the top lane, but it seems that 14K think that the set is a flex pick that might go support and definitely not jungle now, as we see the Trundle pick. So
Right.
it's either support or top. And support set is great, but not against Kog'Maw Lulu because Kog'Maw will start melting him after one item, and Lulu
Yeah.
is traditionally good in lane against it.
It might not be the support. We still have that final pick coming in as 14K RTO chooses to pick up the Maokai. He is one of the best top laners right now that I have seen so far, and I'm not really sure how he plays the Maokai. He's more, proficient on champions that can basically bully someone out of lane, but I'm guessing that his main champions were banned out, and that's why he didn't pick, as we are back in the match lobby because of a champion select bug again.
RIP. Okay.
You overstep. Right.
But yeah, so ladies and gentlemen, we are back at it again as both these teams are just gonna run through the first phase and the second phase of the bans because they know what they wanted to pick. But yeah, it was supposed to be a Thresh pick and the end for Low9. So it is a top lane set and a Trundle jungle. So I'm really interested to see how a Rengar versus Trundle goes down. What about you, Sia?
Rengar versus Trundle is a really interesting matchup, definitely because the Trundle dominates early mid game, but as the Rengar starts to get a couple items under his belt, Rengar is really good against Trundle because the key part about Trundle is that he wins your duels by stealing your attack damage and stealing your stats with his ultimate. Rengar eliminates that factor by just winning instantly due to the burst damage he provides.
Right.
For
But
me, the really interesting aspect of this match is the top lane. What do you think about that? The set versus the Maokai.
yeah, basically, if you're a Maokai, you can sustain out the damage that Set might want to deal out to you. He is basically, essentially, a lane bully who wants to basically consolidate his position in the lane and try to drive out the enemy laner. But as a Maokai, you are adept at holding your own, so that's going to be interesting to see how he actually does it. But if he does fall behind, it does leave room for Set to snowball, because innately, he's a champion that deals a lot of damage while building tanky. So I'm really excited to see how they actually play around their junglers.
Yeah, so these are really interesting comps for me. I wanted to talk about the Lux mid before we randomly dropped out, and Lux mid is something I haven't seen except Froggen play. I think Froggen plays it a lot, but other than Froggen, I haven't really seen this in pro play for a long time. And like against the Syndra specifically, like theoretically, I think it's a really good matchup. But like, what do you think about the scaling factor in terms of that?
I feel like in terms of the scaling, Syndra wants to go in and basically burst the Kog'Maw or the Lux, but the Lux is adept at keeping herself at out of harm's reach by keeping the enemy at bay because of that long range, because of her long range nature, right? But looking at the overall team composition, I feel like Syndra will have a lot of targets to try and take down. She might even try to take down the Lulu, in fact, so that the Kog'Maw is vulnerable to a dive by the Zed and the Trundle. But at the end of the day, it all comes down to which laner actually scales better into the late game because of the fights that they might win or the skirmishes that might go their way. But I'm really interested to see how Maokai actually fares against the set, because that is going to set the tone for the rest of the game. Because if you have a set that is fed, you can basically support that set to go in and get your main damage output out in the form of the Kog'Maw and try to secure as many kills as you can, or even target the Lux, in fact. So 14K RTO, even though he's known for playing those aggressive top laner champions, he has opted to pick something that's more utility focused and more tank focused to just hold someone in place. So I'm really interested to see how the lane dynamics play out in that matchup.
I think there's a lot of pressure on both the AD carries in this match, the Kog'Maw and the Ezreal, because a lot of their compositions, barring the Rengar, of course, are sort of made to enable those AD carries. Like without the Kog'Maw and Ezreal on either side, one of the team will start to falter in terms of damage because the Lux is not going to give you as much DPS. Syndra will, if played properly, but not as much as an Ezreal.
Right. So, looking at both these team compositions, who do you think is going to take the initiative in the early to mid game?
Oh, I think it's definitely has to be LowNine because when I look at a Kog'Maw in any composition, more importantly a Kog'Maw with Lulu, I automatically believe that the Kog'Maw just wins the late game instantly. So it has to be on LowNine to go out there and make sure this Kog'Maw is not able to get to his Rage Blade, his Runans, his Bork, and start just melting people left, right, center.
So yeah, like TA Shadow is basically known for his Syndra, as I'm seeing in the comment section down in our YouTube stream. A lot of people are excited to watch that, so we're gonna be keeping a close eye on TA Shadow's Syndra here. He might be expected to basically carry this game.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense because the mid jungle partnership over here is going to be extremely key. Trundle, as we were talking about before, is somebody who requires the to win the early game. He's going to win most duels against Rengar in the early game, so he wants the priority from his mid lane and ideally his top lane too, which I think Set will have to be able to dominate the river. The question really becomes, can Trundle pull off impactful ganks? Because Rengar is just going to look to power farm to level 6 and then try and kill somebody.
Right. And I feel like Rengar has that sort of initiative to go in and kill someone who is a good target for him. But looking at the carries of LowNine, I really don't see like a proper viable strategy for him to go in, because he can just get insta bursted by the Syndra, or the Ezreal can just arcane shift away from his damage. So who do you think he's going to basically play around? Is it going to be TA Shadow in the early to mid game where his damage might not be enough to kill him in 1 second, or is it going to be Ezreal down in the bot lane?
Well, it definitely has to be the Syndra and the Ezreal, but I would prefer he go for the Syndra every single time because if the Syndra is unable to burst down the Kog'Maw and the Lulu, or the Lulu, Kog'Maw Lulu surviving just instantly wins you the rest of the fight. The Rengar's job, Insect's job, is basically done by if he's able to zone the Syndra away because the rest four on the side for 14k would beat the rest of the four on the side of LowNine once their items are in.
Right. I feel like they have more of that initiative when it comes to team fight LowNine, because looking at their team composition, they do want to actually fight it out in the early to mid game, whereas 14K might just want to hold back, which is not really something akin to their playstyle. They're a team that likes to go in for those cheeky invades level 1, or even stay in the tri-bush area to try and get a gank off of the enemy bot laner in the early stage of the game, and they are a team known for consolidating vision control. So it goes against how they actually play as a team, but I'm really interested to see how they actually go against someone who wants to play like them. Because, looking at LowNine, they're by far the more proactive team comp, right? So that contrast is something that I'm really excited to see in game.
So we see the exhaust Ezreal coming out, and that just tells me, and it sort of confirms to me what you were saying too, that Low9 is going to be looking for the early mid game. More importantly, I think this is just to enable the Trundle to be able to go to any lane he wants. The Trundle pillar for the against the Lux is really good. The Trundle Pillar to gank the Maokai in the top lane is really good. And the Trundle Pillar to separate the Kog'Maw and Lulu are really good too. So my eyes are instantly on Shakya. Where is he going to go? Which lane is he going to impact? Because if he's able to get any of these players ahead, like Set, Syndra, or Ezreal, it will make the world of difference come mid game.
Right, and I feel like for Trundle, the opponent team has picked champions that are favorable for him to gank, right? And he does have good gank set up in each and every single lane that he wants to go to. Bearing in mind the fact that Set might be a bit, poised to not help out as much as another champion might, you do have to take into fact the account that Maokai is a champion that does not have an innate dash to escape other than the Flash, which is a summoner spell on a 5-minute cooldown. So for Trundle, every single lane is a viable gank. Because of all that, gank support that he has. So it's going to be interesting to see how he utilizes that advantage to actually snowball a particular zone of the map. So if they go topside, you know that they're going to go for that Rift Herald and try to get that early top push in so that they can exert pressure on Dragon while the enemy team is busy with the top lane turret that has just been taken down. Or he might just go for that Dragon and early get that early soul point, which creates a pressure on the opponent team. Just a mental pressure that the enemy team can just get another Dragon and get soul point and just enter a stage of the game where they're a bit harder to actually take on.
Yeah, so we instantly see the blue pings coming out from the side of 14K, sorry, LowNine, no, 14K, and they're completely spreading out. Whereas LowNine, they're all moving towards this one bush, and they're gonna get spotted now. And
But no, Inseg Meow might just get caught out here. He just flashes away from Dominic's hook. That was weirdly 14K of LowNine to actually go in for that cheeky invade. So yeah, this was what I was telling you about, like that contrast. Usually it's 14K on the other end of these invades trying to get someone out, but right now they find themselves on the back foot with a flash burn from their jungler.
Oh yeah, for sure. And that flash is going to be so important against in this early matchup because Rengar is not exactly the most mobile of champions when it comes to the jungle. Give him
Right.
some bushes and he's great. Yeah, sure. But catch him in the river with a Trundle Pillar and he's probably dead.
Yeah, and you also need to give him some sort of target to actually take advantage of that bush, right? So we do see that there's an early ward coming out from 14K on the top side of the jungle and near his red buff, Shakya's red buff. So they're gonna spot him out when he does come around to actually take it. He might just go for a delayed take and finish 3 camps before going there because they do know that it's been warded out. So both these junglers opting to start at the bottom side of their respective jungles here.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I want to see them influence this top lane matchup as much as possible because if this Maokai is sort of left to go unchecked by the time he gets Sunfire Cape, it's going to be really, really hard to kill him. It's actually way easier to kill him in the early game with the true damage coming off of Set's W. So if Trundle is actually able to affect the top lane a little bit, he can just, for the next 20 minutes or so, leave Set alone while he just dominates the lane.
Right, so right now both these teams opting for very standard starts. TA Shadow opting for a little bit of aggression onto SKZ Shambo, who is known to be a very good mid laner, honestly. He's from back in the day when he used to play for this team called SKZ. Right now there is action in the bot lane as Dominic hooks onto the support. 14K Rip might be in trouble here. Gets a lot of damage onto him. That last auto attack from Ganja secures the first blood. Not a great start for 14K.
Very well played from LowNine. That debate in terms of his positioning, for any support mains watching out there, that's how you're supposed to set it up. He looked like he was going towards Kog'Maw, but times the hook perfectly to get the Lulu, because Lulu is the squishier person here, and she's not able to shield herself properly with the proper flay coming in, and they get the first blood. And they
Right.
don't even blow any sums, and that both sums down for Lulu with the flash and heal is going to be really painful.
Okay, so Shakya coming up in the top lane. 14K RTO might be in trouble here. The pillar is popped behind him. He still has the flash, does use it to get away. And yeah, you see, like, that is the impact that you were talking about, like the impact that the jungler has in the top side of the map. But here comes Dominic with another heal onto 14K Rip. He's just making it easy for Dominic at this point to lay down that aggression. So really nice stuff coming out from LowNine.
Yeah, they're playing it really well. They're completely capitalizing on the fact that they have full priority in the early game, and you instantly see that they're already 800 gold ahead. Several of their lanes are ahead in CS too, and while it's minimal right now, it's gonna start building up slowly but steadily, and that's gonna bring them a huge advantage from mid game, and they're gonna want to snowball on this.
But man, I love the fact that Dominic is basically playing really, really aggressive, as you should be playing against a Kog'Maw lane, as Shambo and TA Shadow come to blows with each other in the mid lane. But yeah, Dominic really nice, but TA Shadow dance a quite a hefty amount of damage onto SKZ's Shambo as Zuko denies 14k that minion stall by responding with a lot of damage of his own. 14k RTO now forced to farm under his turret. As a Maokai, that's not really the best situation you want to find yourself in.
Yeah, and he went for the freezer. Oh, game coming in and flash.
Okay, that flash comes out for Dominic, lamenting
Okay.
on the fact that he misses his hook, but 14k Rip might still be taken down by Ganja as Shakia gets taken down insanely low, but that last stand is actually going to keep him alive along with that red buff. Really nice plays coming out from LowNine in the bot lane.
Yeah, they played that really well. 14k Rip tried to like sidestep it and dodge, but the sidestepping just okay.
All
Rip
right.
Valkar.
Okay, so basically in the top lane, 14k RTO, who is known for dominating a lane, just gets taken down by Set. Zuko opting to play really well there.
Yeah, this is I think purely a mistake on the side of 14k RTO. That was the second time he tried to freeze the lane, and Zuko perfectly punishes him for it. He gets the W true damage on point, and he's able to burst down the Maokai because Maokai can sustain if dealing physical damage to him or like any other damage by healing, but the burst comes in and Zuko just playing that really well. LowNine gonna get their dragon up now, and this is gonna be really good for them come mid game because they're almost 2k gold ahead already.
Yeah, systematically taking down objectives and playing their lanes, getting their basics right. Like, you want to play aggressive against the Lulu Kog'Maw because you know they're not capable of defending themselves against a Thresh and Ezreal. And you know that if, as a set, you can outduel a Kog'Maw in those extended fights, and that just goes to show how he actually took advantage of that fight to get himself a nice CS lead and a kill lead as well, which nets him an overall level advantage.
Yeah, we see the DC coming in for Dominic here, and I was just gonna say that the way Dominic seems to be positioned right now, with no flash on the Kog'Maw and the flash just about to come up on the Lulu, Trundle is bot side, so I would like for them to go for another play before Lulu's flash comes back up, because as much as you punish this bot lane, this Kog'Maw is still deathless, and once this Kog'Maw is able to get his items, it won't really matter how much gold ahead you are because Kog'Maw will start melting you.
Okay, so we are back into the game, and Rengar is positioned well to intercept a gank that that Shakia might want to do. But here comes Chambo without ultimate, deals a hefty amount of damage onto TA Shadow, not enough to take him out of the lane as he just keeps on farming like nothing happened. But here comes Shakia. He is in an advanced position in the tri-bush as Dominic goes in for the Q. Is he gonna land it? The pillar is down. Kira 2k sidesteps it away, but he's taking a lot of damage from Ganja on the side lanes, trying to kill out Dominic. He might just get taken down. The lantern is getting out. The barriers on, the shield's on, 14k, take it on to Dominic, but Kira 2k still plays with his life. That was really nice counteraction play coming out as TA Shadow wants to go aggressive onto Shambo. Does nothing in the end, but wow, what a back and forth down in the bot lane.
So I'm really happy about the fact that Shakia did decide to, I don't know, maybe he has the stream open and he's listening to me, but he went for the bot lane gank, and he's doing exactly what he should do and keeping the pressure on the Kog'Maw. The one unfortunate thing about the entire trade is that the Kog'Maw ended up getting a kill, really playing that extremely well, sidestepping and getting the damage through. The one good thing is that the Ezreal is going to be ahead in XP. The Kog'Maw died and
Right.
the Thresh died on this side, so this Ezreal is going to get to level 6 soon. Kog'Maw is scaling up. He has his cutlass, but the Ezreal tier is in. He's been stacking his tier for some time now. But remember,
But right now in the mid lane, we do see an engage coming out on the side of 14k. They might not want to fight this out. At CH Shadow with a flash, with an ult, takes down Shambo really easy as Dominic lands another hook onto Kira 2k. He's going to take a lot of damage. But no, they turn it around onto Ganja, who's forced to Arcane Shift away in a turn of events. Zuko getting 2v1, but calling that support from TA Shadow gets him out of safety and gets him a kill.
Rengar.
Alright, so Rengar is in a really precarious situation here, opting to recall, gets stunned by TA Shadow, has to flash away Shocky, and TA Shadow opting for total control of this topside river part as Zuko and two members of LowNine are poised to make a turret dive onto RTO as the pause comes in.
Yeah, this is starting to look really unfortunate for the side of 14k. They have to stabilize here because you can already see in the bot lane when they go for the trades how much damage the Kog'Maw is able to output using Lulu's passive, and they just need to get to that stage where the Blade of the Ruined King comes in, the Rage Blade gets in. But now looking at the scene, it's almost a 2.6k goal lead, and coming into mid game, the second dragon is going to be coming up in about 2.5 minutes. Low9 have full priority and they decide how this game is going to go. So as long as they don't take their foot off the pedal here, they're looking very much in control.
That third dive that might have happened just fizzles out as they realize that they might be able to take this blue buff and then consecutively the Rift Herald to the top side of the jungle, because they have complete control over that region of the map as bot lane. Even though they are showing signs of a bit of rustiness down there, even though they carved out the advantage for themselves, Low9 opt to actually take this advantage in the top side.
Yeah, for sure. Like this Rift Herald will just help them continue their goal lead. Now the real question is, where do you use the Rift Herald, right? Normally, as a jungler myself, I would go and pop the Rift Herald in the top lane because
Right.
I tend to give less love to the top lane. But now, at this point, I want to see this Rift Herald used in the mid lane, free up this Syndra as much as possible, because you already see that the set is going to go towards the Blade of the Ruin King. So he's
Right.
going to do really well into the matchup against the Maokai. The bot lane is doing really well too. So if you're able to free the Syndra up, you're the only win condition that 14K have is Kog'Maw right now. The Syndra can't shut down that Kog'Maw.
Right, and you can also see like a glimpse of how they want to funnel gold onto Ganja's Ezreal. Like Thresh, Dominic actually opting to stay in mid lane, try to look for a gank, but here comes Insect with that ultimate. He goes onto Ganja, he is isolated under the turret. Insect takes out a lot of damage. He might just get taken down, he does!
Wow.
Oh my goodness, 14k
Wow.
Rip is also in trouble. That double kill, that dive just failed spectacularly for 14k, and they pay with 3 kills to none, but it might just be another comeback kill. Kira 2k gets Ganja with that passive, but it is not worth it. Oh my goodness, that dive failed so badly.
And all that was while the Ezreal didn't really have items. He had his tier, and now he actually finishes his Manamune in one back, and he's going to be insanely strong coming into these fights. Forget whatever I said about the the Syndra, because while the Rift Herald was used mid lane, now this win condition for Low9 is purely this Ezreal. Ezreal does scale into a beast, and he's going to just start melting people for in the next dragon fight. And I don't think 14K can contest this. But if they don't, I don't see what they can do.
Yeah, and I feel like they made a very good call in terms of, channeling that XP onto the Ezreal. They knew that he could hold his own in the lane, even with that 3-man tower dive. Like, I feel like a lot of the things that 14k did in that dive were wrong, because you really can't pin down an Ezreal with a Rengar, Lulu, and Kog'Maw. They just don't have that hard CC to pin him in place while you deal that damage, and Kog'Maw needs someone to pin a target in place for him to deal sustained damage in the early game, or even in the mid-game transition period that we're going through right now. So I'm not really sure as to whether or not 14k weighed down their strengths coming into that tower dive, and they do pay dearly with 3 kills for 1.
Yeah, I'm not really sure why they decided to dive an Ezreal without any CC on their side. I mean, in theory, I could imagine. Oh, is this surprise gang? Surprise gang.
Okay, so in the top lane, Zuko is going at it versus 2 people. That is the power of Set. He can go toe-to-toe against 2 people, and Insect is not having the best of times right now as H-Gang is going on. But in the mid lane, TA Shadow deals a lot of damage onto Shambo, who has to pop his barrier and his shield. But that could have been curtains for him, because that was a lot of damage being dealt down onto him. And as Low9 secure their second dragon of the game right under the noses of 14k, as the Inferno blazes across the map.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what Insect's plan is coming into this game, because normally I would expect the Rengar to power farm and not buy the Tiamat. The Tiamat is the general buy, but specifically in this game, I would expect him to go for the Dirk or the jungle item, so he can get just a little bit more far, so his level 6 is just a little bit more impactful. But right now, he's not able to impact anywhere on the map.
You see, like, how... Yeah, you see like how L9 Zuko is basically bullying out 14k RTO. Even though he's tanking a lot of the damage, Zuko just dishes out buckets of damage at this point.
Yeah, and that's exactly why he's building the Blade of the Ruin King, right? He's able to sustain himself and get that max health damage on the Maokai,
But okay, in sec, manages to catch out Shakya. He's gonna be just promptly taken away with that lantern. Not really punishing enough, but here comes TA Shadow. The stun does land onto Shambo. He does not have the ultimate to follow up with the damage, as L9 still continue to push down bot lane despite the presence of Insect. That just proves as a testament as to how insignificant Low9 actually consider the enemy jungle presence. They know that 3 people are bot, but they're still over pushing like crazy.
Yeah, and that's the issue, right? Like, the Rengar is supposed to be like a Kha'Zix, if you know that he's on your side of the jungle, you're supposed to be instantly scared and supposed to not be pushing into the lane. But given how little impact this Rengar has had into the game, and given how strong this Ezreal is, they're not scared of him at all.
But
Oh,
still, Kira 2K actually wants to go in for this fight as Insect with that flash E. I'm not really sure if that was warranted, honestly, and nothing actually comes out of it as Janja actually escapes with his life. But here comes an extended fight from 14K RTO and Zuko. But Insect going in for round 2, he might just get taken down. No, the Lulu ultimate, the Wild Girl does make him insecure as Shakia joins the fray. He might be able to turn the tide here as Insect gets taken dangerously low, but they decide to disengage because Kira 2K was outputting a bit too much damage for their liking.
yeah, that was really interesting from the side of 14K and really well played by LowNine. They respected the fact that Rengar still does do a lot of damage and they just slowly fight that out. And right now, 40, LowNine have about 4,000 goal lead, 14 minutes in. The second Rift Herald is about to come up in under a minute. The set has complete priority, so they're going to get another Rift Herald and they're just going to keep increasing this goal lead. This is going to be a very early soul point game.
Right, I really think that this might just go that distance, but Kira 2K is still showing some sort of, is showing the glimpse of how he can actually, you know, turn the tide of this game if he is allowed to build properly, right? So he is showing glimpses of how a Kog'Maw can actually turn the tide of the game by doing a lot of damage, even in the fights where he was at a disadvantage. But Insect, I'm not really sure as to what his questionable plays are actually getting 14K. Like, it's good that you're burning the flash or you're overextending and pushing your enemy laners out, but if you can't translate that into an objective or any other form of consolidated advantage in the form of a CS lead, which the Kog'Maw doesn't have right now, it's going to be pretty redundant to make those plays, force those plays in the bot lane or any other lane for that matter.
Yeah, exactly. If I was in sec at this point, like I would just be like getting as much gold as I can for myself. You want to have at this point, like usually either your jungle item completed or your Duskblade ready, so you get that instant burst of damage when you do use your ultimate. But now he hasn't really finished any item. He has the Dirk, so he's not really gonna be able to impact the map as much. And the second Rift Herald is just gonna go down easily. You already see them at it, and they're gonna get the free first turret off of that.
Right, and the Rift Herald, like LowNine, are so poised to actually do the Rift Herald right now, but 14K, they really do not care. They just want to let this go, as 14K RTO is going to be collapsed onto by 4 members of LowNine as they pick up the second Rift Herald of the game, as they face down a bot lane pressure coming out from Kier 2K and 14K Rip. Dominic has to use his ult to clear out the minion wave to stop that push. But oh my goodness, what just happened? Kira 2K, you overstayed. That turret shot in combination with that mystic shot just takes him down instantly. Really questionable decision making coming out from all members of 14K at this point.
Yeah, you see the pressure coming on for the Rengar ultimate?
But right now, Rengar ultimate in the top lane, I'm not really sure if that's a good idea. Zuko still dealing a lot of damage. The Haymaker comes out. They might just get taken down. It's a 1v2 here, ladies and gentlemen, as 14K RTO is dangerously low. He still survives by the skin of his teeth, but oh my goodness, even a 1v2 is not enough to take down Zuko. He is massacring the lane. The Flash Haymaker goes down. 14K RTO is being dominated right now as they are going for that NA all mid push to take down the inhibitor turret at 16 minutes of the game.
Wow. Like, the Braid of the Ruined King for the set coming in clutch. He ran so low, but he's able to hold on to his W for the last moment, get complete value off of that, get the summoners, and get a double kill. Meanwhile, his team just free pushes down the mid lane, get the free inhibitor turret at 16 minutes. Like, this is almost a 10,000 goal lead at 17 minutes in. They're about to get their third dragon, putting them at soul point, and this looks like a quick GG. Let's go to game 2.
Yeah, like LowNine have completely outclassed 14K in the early and mid stage of the game. Every single time that 14K spotted out an opportunity, it was not enough to do anything. And this was the thing that I was talking about. Like Rengar, against a team composition like that with teammates like yours, the champions that they picked, it's not really advantageous for you to force those proactive ganks. Rather, you go for those carries that are out of position like the Syndra or the Ezreal if they burn their Arcane Shift. And those proactive plays get punished dearly by LowNine's insanely good mechanical skill play coming out from Ganja and Zuko. And that just goes to show how good
Oh,
these players
right.
are. And TA Shadow wants to take down 14K Rip, who manages to survive with that wild growth and the shield. But that was still very scary coming out from TA Shadow. He has a lot of damage on his side right now.
Yeah, this is looking really, really good from LowNine here. They're setting the pace for how the series is gonna go, but in the mid lane, yeah, Shambo is dead.
Right now, Shambo gets taken down out of position. He is going to be slowly chipped away as Shakia picks up that kill. This is just too easy for LowNine at this point. They're just steamrolling across mid lane, even without any Baron buff or anything. As, oh
He
my goodness, Kira 2K, you're in trouble here. TA Shadow had him in his sights, but underestimated the spells that Kog'Maw might have had to actually defend him. But here comes Zuko, terrorizing RTO again. Pulls him in for that haymaker, and the punch after punch lands onto him, breaking the branches of Maokai, as Ganja is now in the mid lane, securing this mid lane inhibitor. Even though 3 members of 14K are alive, this is an absolute stomp, ladies and gentlemen.
Yep, you said it absolutely right. Like this is a complete stomp, and I think that the way this game is playing out is because of comfort. I think Low9 have picked for themselves a composition who they know exactly how to execute. It's really easy for people to be going in, but in the
But
bottom.
right now, LowNine fancy their chances of the fight down in with a pillar just to initiate. Sambo trying to survive, and he does. A lot of damage being dealt down onto him as Kier 2K tries to salvage as much as he can from this losing fight. And LowNine, even with just a pillar that landed onto the side of 14K, they were able to basically zone them out of that, you know, that outside turret area, the inhibitor turret area. But oh my goodness, this is not going good for 14K. I mean, that's painfully obvious, but still.
Yeah, I mean, I think the issue is like you were talking about in the draft that how 14K. Okay, no,
All right, so
that's a little bit
14K
dead.
Rip, that was check, not really necessary. He does
Okay,
escape with that wild growth, but yeah, you were saying.
I'm just saying, like you were mentioning how 14K's usual playstyle is to be the ones initiating, to be the ones taking the initiative, and to be the ones like in control of the game. And
Right.
here they seem to be put into a place where they're completely out of their comfort zone and playing in a sort of win condition where they have to disengage and wait for a later game. And I just don't think they're comfortable with that. You were
Yeah.
talking about how RTO is usually a bully player rather than a weak side player. And Maokai, while a great champion, needs to be wielded properly for it to be significant. And oh,
Okay, 14K Rip makes the same mistake again, gets stunned but doesn't get taken out. But yeah, I mean, like, your points are absolutely valid. The style of play that 14K are known for, this is not it. This team composition is not something that they work well around, and they've just proved themselves in this game that they're not good at playing the waiting game and transitioning into late game against the proactive plays. Dominic goes in with that flash play, barely misses out, but redeems himself with that hook. This might be curtains for Insect. He wants to go for that blast cone. Ganja did use that ultimate to secure the kill, but it was not necessary. He has a lot of innate damage here. Continuing the stomp, it seems, as
that
they
Baron?
want to go for this Baron.
Yeah, I mean, 14K really can't be stepping up to contest at all right now, so the Baron makes perfect sense. But what's more important is that as soon as they finish this Baron, the Soul Point Dragon is going to come up, and that's going to be Infernal Dragon. And at that point, when you get Infernal Dragon on champions such as Syndra and Ezreal, your
Yeah.
Kog'Maw really doesn't matter anymore.
Yep, and Shambo still getting terrorized by TA Shadow. This man has been an absolute beast at zoning out all the members of 14K right now in every single area that he goes. This is a must ban, honestly, if you want to play against LowNine. Like, as we saw that a lot of people were talking about TA Shadow Syndra, but the star of the show has to be Ganja's Ezreal, and in some aspects Zuko as well, for his dominant performance against 14K RTO.
Yeah, the Ezreal has been really, really good on the side of Low9. They've put Ganja on basically something that he can pay for himself, and this also frees up Dominic to continue his aggressive playstyle, go around the map, and making these plays.
But
So
14K realized that they really do not want to give away the sole point of the game, but it's little too late as Zuko, his mere presence is enough to basically zone out all members of 14K, but they might just want to actually contest this as Insect popped his ultimate, but he's standing beside the wall for I don't know what reason, but I think they might have a plan here. No, they don't. They actually wanted to steal it out, but Dominic actually Ganja actually secured it, but here comes 14K RTO. He's gonna get caught out.
Right.
That force of nature is going to keep them in place as Insect tries to go in, but he does not really get anything out of it as TA Shadow just bursts him out. Here come LowNine dominating the map right now. Here too again, SKZ Shambo are in complete disarray as they just get taken down. That ultimate from Zuko secures the kill onto SKZ Shambo, just highlighting the fact that they just brought a bazooka to kill a fly, and that is exactly what happened.
I mean, yeah, that's a really nice metaphor. But yeah, that's literally how this entire game has gone, right? We were talking about in draft how Low9 want to be taking the initiative and winning the early game so that they can snowball the mid game. I don't even know if we've got to the mid game yet because it's just 23 minutes in and the game looks like it's gonna end.
But 14K, before the last breath, they want to actually go out with a bang, but no, they just get humiliated again as they want to go for that fight. But LowNine, even with their low HP, they want to do something. TA Shadow is close to getting taken down. Shambo gets a redemption kill onto him, but the Nexus does get taken down at 23 minutes and 30 seconds. One of the fastest tournament games I've ever casted so far. But yeah, that was an absolutely crushing display from LowNine, consolidating their lead right from the get-go, nailing those basics, and getting those advantages to play out for them. What an amazing game from them.
Yeah, that was absolutely beautiful from Low9, and if I'm 14K right now, I'm just really confused because I didn't even get to play the game. Like you just got completely trampled by Low9. They came out with a certain game plan, a certain win condition, and from minute zero with the uh 5-man in the river bush coming in to Dominic making constant plays in the bot lane, they executed it perfectly. So if I'm 14K right now, do I go back to the same thing? Do I completely switch it up? I would prefer them to be on a more engaging sort of composition, but hey, let's see what they decide.
Like, look at the damage numbers. The graphs are like half of what LowNine have actually put out. But yeah, good game. But game 2 is up. Will 14K find their redemption strategy and try to come back into the series? Or will LowNine continue their domination over their opponents and secure a spot in the semifinals? Stay tuned.
Numerous forces aimed at the Earth. Let the glorious battle begin. Geared up for victory. LG UltraGear Gaming Monitor. Numerous forces aimed at the Earth. Let the glorious battle begin. Geared up for victory. LG UltraGear Gaming Monitor. Numerous forces aimed at the Earth. And injustice. Let the glorious battle begin. Geared up for victory. LG UltraGear Gaming Monitor. Numerous forces aimed at the Earth. And injustice. Let the glorious battle begin. Geared up for victory. LG UltraGear Gaming Monitor. Numerous forces aimed at the Earth. And injustice. Let the glorious battle begin. Geared up for victory. LG UltraGear Gaming Monitor. Numerous forces aimed at the Earth. And injustice. Let the glorious battle begin. Geared up for victory. LG UltraGear Gaming Monitor. Numerous forces aimed at the Earth. battle begin. Geared up for victory. LG UltraGear Gaming Monitor. Numerous forces aimed at the Earth. Let the glorious battle begin. Geared up for victory. LG UltraGear Gaming Monitor. Numerous forces aimed at the Earth. Let the glorious battle begin. Geared up for victory. LG UltraGear Gaming Monitor. Numerous forces aimed at the Earth. Let the glorious battle begin. Geared up for victory. LG UltraGear Gaming Monitor. Numerous forces aimed at the Earth. Let the glorious battle begin. UltraGear gaming monitor. Numerous forces aimed at the Earth. And injustice. Let the glorious battle begin. Geared up for victory. LG UltraGear gaming monitor. Numerous forces aimed at the Earth.
Alright, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the South Asia Championship League powered by LG UltraGear. We're in Game 2 of the quarterfinal series between LowNine and 14K, and this is going to shape up to be a really interesting series. Off the bat, we're seeing very similar bans from LowNine, the Caitlyn, the Ilawi coming in, but immediately we see a Trundle ban, noticing that there's going to be a switch up in the playstyle from 14K. There's been a small technical glitch for our co-casters for this game, so it's gonna be just you and me casting this game. So please let me know your thoughts, because I will be looking at the chat, see what you think. But hey, the Lulu Bands comes out. Low9 acknowledging the fact that the Kog'Maw Lulu was indeed in actual win condition, and realizing that they're not as scared of the Kog'Maw, more of the support that's enabling the Kog'Maw. So here for LowNine on the blue side, I want to really see a really strong pick coming out. So if the Syndra isn't banned here, the Syndra blue side, okay, Syndra ban comes out. So I assume this is going to be an Ezreal first pick. What do you guys think? Oh, the Karma first pick comes out. As we saw in the earlier series by X Lances, the Karma is a really strong flex pick. It can be used between top, mid, and support. So we'll see where this Karma is going. But for 14K on the other side, we immediately see some serious changes coming to their composition, with this Ashe likely to get locked in. Ashe instantly provides the initiation, the whole initiative side of gameplay, the proactive style of gameplay that we want to see from 14K coming out here. Lilia, give it to us. I haven't seen Lilia in pro play at all so far, and it would be amazing, but okay. Nami it is. Ashe Nami is an incredibly strong name. I think Nami was in response to the Karma, but the Karma can be flexed, and you can pick a sort of hook champion like Thresh, Blitzcrank, even Alistar, that goes really well into Nami, so I'm hoping Dominic is allowed to go back onto his playmaking supports rather than Karma, and this Karma is flexed. Oh no. Okay. Alright, the Kindred comes out, and we should have been expecting this, because given the fact that 14K did ban Kindred in game 1, TF is a really good partner with Kindred, because he allows Kindred to maintain river control and get her marks right on time, therefore enabling her to become the late game monster that she is, along with Wolf. So this TF makes a lot of sense here, but it's not going to be TF. It's going to be the set, and that set back in Zuko's hands, you saw him getting the double kills all over the place in game 1. Mundo. So that's a Dr. Mundo for 14K RTO. And Mundo can be flexed into the jungle. I have seen him be played in the jungle, but I would really hope he's not being played in the jungle, because he's Not exactly a proactive jungler. He's not easy to gank with in the jungle. I assume this is top lane, and I'm not really sure about why you would take another tank into Zuko, because Zuko has already shown his proficiency with Set. He's already shown what he will do to you if you give him a favorable matchup. So this is a little bit confusing from the side of 14k, but we'll save our judgment till we see the full composition and we have a complete understanding of exactly what they want to do. Rek'Sai ban, I really like that ban. It Rek'Sai is an extremely strong champion in the early game. With innovative jungle pathing that he's able to do and get ganks in from all sorts of weird angles using his tunnels. It's something that I wanted to see from 14k, the innovative, creative, proactive playmaking. So Rek'Sai is a really good denial. The Ezreal ban comes out, and I think that's a really good ban against Ganja. We saw in the last game how he was able to take on that pressure 3v1 and get a double or triple kill even and just write it out. Yeah, the chat is also suspect about the Karma first pick, huh? And I mean, I really like the Karma first pick if it gets flexed. But I've already seen a top laner come out here for, I assume this set is going to Zuko. The jungler come out, so unless this is Karma mid for Shadow, which would be kind of weird, I'm a little disappointed. But Jin, really? Alright. Jin is something that we don't get to see a lot in game pro play actually, and Jin is one of my favorite champions. He is a champion with such a high skill cap and is so hard to pull off. But if you're able to use his lane prowess well and use his fourth shot to the proper limitations, then you'll be able to get it off. But we see the Karma Flex coming out, and we see Dominic on the playmaker as we expected, and the Leona comes out, and that's what we wanted to see, right? We saw how aggressive Ganja and Dominic can be in the bot lane, and with Jin and Leona against these two squishy ladies in Ash and Nami, they're just gonna be looking to burst them instantly come level 2 and level 3. Uh, Kassadin. I would not like to see a Kassadin here. Kassadin is good in Karma, but okay. Veigar is much, much, much better. So let's analyze both the compositions here, right? So as we thought about, this Mundo is actually going to get flexed to this jungle. This is going to be a Dr. Mundo jungle. This is going to be a Renekton top lane, which is a really good matchup into set if played properly. And it's going to be a Veigar mid lane. So 14k have completely changed what their uh like thought process for this series is going to be. No longer are they going to be standing back and letting LowNine dictate the tempo and the pace of the game. Rather, they're going to take the game head on and they're going to try to make proactive plays on their own. The one thing I'm really, really, really skeptical about is the matchup of Kindred into Dr. Mundo. So normally you would expect somebody who's able to dominate the river to match up against Kindred, so as to make sure that you're not allowing Kindred to take these marks all over the place. Because if Kindred is able to get her 4 marks really early, she's gonna turn up and be a really strong champion come mid game. We already saw how good Shakya was on the Trundle pick, and that was when he didn't really have much agency. He was just this simple tank pickup who it was used for his early game impact using the pillar and the late game R capabilities. But here with the Kindred, he's gonna have a lot more agency to dictate the style of his play and decide where he wants to go. So my eyes are on Shakya if he's able to punish this pick of Dr. Mundo that they brought out. But you tell me about this, chat. Is this a standard pick for 14k in the Dr. Mundo jungle? Or is this something that they've sort of pulled out of desperation? Because we know exactly how good Ganja and Dominic can be. Jin Leona versus Ash Nami, Dominic is going to be on their faces, getting stuns out of every angle possible. Because if the Dominic is able to lock down either Ash or Nami, Nami while does provide a lot of healing and a lot of disengage, will not be able to stop Jin from bursting using his fourth shot. The one thing I am a little bit disappointed about is the fact that Shadow ends up on the Karma. While Karma is a great champion and all that, it's not something that I wanted to see Shadow, who was one of the biggest carries in the game one, on his Syndra to end up on. Though, hey, maybe we'll see him showing up. Exactly why Karma mid lane is a really good champion. Another thing about Karma mid lane is that it's really good with Kindred. I assume he's gonna go for the Athene's Unholy Grail and the Ardent Sensor into the Deathcap build to get those massive shields, and that way buff up the Kindred even more. Um, this is going to be really suspect in terms of the mid jungle matchup for 14K here, because while Veigar does really well late game, he's not going to be able to help the Mundo early game at all. He's not going to have much wave clear, hence he's not going to have much priority. So the onus is going to be completely on LowNine again in the early game to dictate how the pace of the game goes. For me, I want to see this Mundo top lane. I want him to shut down Zuko, not let him get as fed he was last game, so they're able to actually get this Renekton up and popping because he's the only member on the 14K team who actually desperately needs the gold to be able to make an impact later. If this Mundo is able to get to his Blade of the Ruined King first, or his Black Cleaver first, he's going to be able to take over the entire game by himself entirely. But yeah, that's 5 seconds for us to get into game. We are in game 2 of the last quarterfinal series of the South Asia Champions League powered by LG UltraGear. And I certainly hope that one way or another, this is going to be an amazing game. It could very well be another 20-25 minute game stomped by either team. Uh, Low9 definitely have the tempo and momentum advantage, but 14K are going to show why they're in the quarterfinals to start with and why we should look out for them and be scared of them. But hey, let's look at the skins, eh? The High Noon Jin is one of my most favorite skins in the game. The High Noon AD carry battle is gonna be like the 18th century where both of them have their guns in their pockets and they're ready to brawl, and then suddenly one person pulls out and boom. I mean, in that such battle, I would expect Jin to win because, like, he has the shotgun. But hey, High Noon Ash is supposed to be the sheriff, and Jin is supposed to be the bandit. So maybe the sheriff will actually catch the bandit and get away with it. But this bad Santa Wagar, he is he gonna get Christmas gifts for himself, or is he gonna be the really evil Santa who's gonna punish all the naughty players on the side of Low9? As we get into the game, what do you guys feel? I mean, I don't feel so good about the whole exhaust Mundo. I was really skeptical about the Dr. Mundo to begin with, and a no flash Dr. Mundo, and I'm just not sure. Yeah, Jatin, like it's really weird, right? Mundo against the full AD team. Shadow is sort of a magic damage champion in the Karma, but like I think the Shadow on the Karma is more to buff up Shakya rather than be a full-on magic damage dealer himself. Jin does struggle to kill tanks, yeah, that's for sure, but Kindred definitely does not struggle to kill tanks. With her E damage coming in, Mundo is going to be really squishy in front of a fed Kindred, because the way this game is looking, unless Renekton pops off, then Kindred in Shakya is going to have full control. But we're seeing pings by 14K, no, we're seeing pings by Low9, and they're going for a topside invade. And there's going to be something really spicy because 14K are completely spreading out, whereas Low9 going towards the top side. They're going to look to punish this Mundo with no flash immediately. Let's see if they can catch him. Alright. Nope. He gets spotted out. Oh, the flash! Flash W coming in. He doesn't have flash. They're able to root him up. The Leona Q comes in and Mundo is dead. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Not running Flash in a competitive game is just very suspect. It's extremely suspect. Like, you, okay, if you don't run Flash, at least do not step up like that, because you have to respect Low9 for acknowledging the fact that, hey, these people seem to will know the fact that I don't have Flash, so they will acknowledge the fact that they can come punish me. So I should just try to stay away from them as much as possible, because my point in this game is to become this late game beast. Yeah, no Flash Mundo is just getting completely punished. And this is starting to look really unfortunate from them to begin with. Oh no! Nami doesn't have items, guys. Nami. Uh-oh. Nami. Uh-oh, 14K. 14K looks like it might be another 20-minute game. Unless this is a spectator bug, Nami doesn't have items, guys. It is starting to look a lot like a solo queue game. Nami with no items, and this is really unfortunate because LowNine are just gonna take all of this in stride. Oh wait, Nami got the items. No, she went back. Oh, that's really, really unfortunate. Nami had to go back to get items, and that's really sad. And we see a pause coming in, and that gives us a second to talk about the ruin choices coming in here. Mundo has the Conqueror, and that makes sense for assuming he's gonna go for the Cinder build, and it's gonna be really impactful late game with his W to be able to proc it easily. We see that he's going for the full car clear. He started with Raptors, he went to red, and then went towards Krugs. Whereas Shakya himself, he's gone for the bot side clear, and he's invading the Mundo top side as we speak, and that's gonna be really unfortunate for the Mundo because he gets really low in his clear and he's not going to be able to contest this Kindred invading his jungle. What's even worse for him is that his bot lane will have zero priority given the fact that Nami didn't have items and had to go back and buy items. Oh, that this is just looking like a nightmare of a start for 14K. Like I'm not really sure if this is the pressure of the game that build up and or if it's just the fact that they are frustrated by how quick LowNine was able to shut the game, but this will not work. This is not okay on the side of LowNine, sorry, 14K, because LowNine will not give them any space to breathe and will start breathing down their necks as soon as possible. Something that I didn't point out was the fact that the first blood actually went over to the set. They allowed Zuko to take that extra gold for himself, and he has that longsword. So the one lane that had some sort of hope for 14K in the Renekton versus set is now looking really difficult for the Renekton because the set has the early game advantage with an extra item. And there again, we see the really good trade coming in. Oh boy, he's gonna go down to about 10% HP, 20% HP, and the invade, and he's trying to contest, but he gets the blue buff. And this is just really sad. The Mundo, he went back to try and get another item and come back to clear his bot side jungle, but now he knows that his blue buff is gone. He's gonna have one less camp to clear with, whereas Kindred is happy to take the extra gold. Like Kindred's gonna go down to his own top side, his blue side, and farm the entire blue side. And this is just looking just I don't want to say it, but sadder and sadder for 14K. Like I don't really know how they're gonna be able to come back into this game unless someone makes some insane plays. Because of what I've seen from LowNine, they're going to be proactive. They're going to constantly be pushing on this pressure. So let's see what they can do, eh? What do you guys think? Like this Karma Kindred is definitely a tough matchup for mid jungle to deal with. And yeah, Sun India, Renekton definitely beats Zed, but I'm not so sure. Okay, we see a fight coming in, and this Mundo is stunned up and he's dead. The no flash Mundo and Low9 really, really, really piling on the tilt and the grief on this no flash Mundo. And now this Mundo is just looking really, really, really bad. This Kindred hasn't even touched the camps on her own side. She's on the side of the Mundo's jungle, trying to counter jungle as much as possible. She's a little behind on CS in terms of camps, but that won't matter as much because, oh, we see a fight in the bot lane, we see the cleanse come out, and this is classic Dominic. He's able to make these constant plays, and Renekton is dead. Oh god, and another fight in the bot lane. I think Ash flashes out because otherwise she would have been dead. LowNine is playing really well, Shady Sand, because they are being yeah, they're being really proactive with the way they've been playing, and they're really comfortable with their game plan and executing it perfectly. Oh my god, I've just noticed the fact that this Karma has a red buff, and that's really sad for the Veigar because as in itself, it's not really a great matchup for the Veigar in the early game because he has to use all of his mana in trying to make sure he's getting the minions, and he's able to do that. But with the red buff, he's just not going to be able to contest whatsoever. Shokya, meanwhile, hasn't gone back yet at all. He's just been farming, trying to get as much vision as possible and counter jungle as much as possible. Zuko is just showing why they made a fatal mistake by not banning or at least picking this set, because he got the first blood and then he got a solo kill. To I everybody, including me, I do think Renekton beats Set in lane, but with the extra item and with Zuko's proficiency in this lane, now it's a Bilgewater Cutlass Set versus a double Doran Blade Renekton. I'm just like, bro, I don't even know, because this is looking really sad for 14k. There's already a 2000 goal lead 6 minutes into the game. The first dragon is up, and you see that LowNine are moving towards it. They've been really proficient around objectives, and the fact that um, they are able to execute their game plan perfectly. This is going to be really key if they're able to pull off two 20-minute games going into their semifinals matchup. But hey, let's not count 14k out of this completely. Their win conditions still do exist. The Ash level 6 is still really strong with the Nami wave coming in. If they're able to make plays using that, they might have a chance to come back. All right, so you see this fight come in, Kindred versus Mundo, but the Karma comes to help her up, and the Mundo is once again dead. Oh my god. If I was the Mundo, I would be so tilted right now. Like, I don't even know if you're allowed to be tilted though, because if, I'm assuming the Mundo decided to not take Flash, and that's been the real problem with this matchup. Zuko has 3 kills now into the only lane that was supposed to be winning for 14k, and Zuko is just popping off once again on this set. This is just, oh my god, look at that damage. This is just looking really sad for 14k. It's like they just came today with a really bad day and they're just unsure what exactly they want to do and they're not able to. Okay, the Mundo exhaust coming in, but okay, Kindred just runs away. And fair enough. Oh, okay. Flash ults from the Veigar. There we go. But the Veigar is dead. One set on Zuko with his 4th kill. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. I mean, guys, did you know? I mean, I'm sure most of you know this, but I'll say it anyways. Set's ultimate, it increases in terms of damage and slow on the basis of how much maximum health the player he is kadunking or super slamming, I would like to say, has, right? This Mundo, who is stacking health, is a perfect target for Set. A 4-0 Set jumping into a backline with a very healthy Mundo, he's just going to be dead. Oh, the flash comes in, a really good trade by 14k RTO, and alright, we see 14k trying to answer back in some regards, but with the level 6 coming in for Ganja on the Jin, it's looking really dire in the bot lane, and in the top lane, Shokya coming to answer this. What was that ult, Shokya? What? Oh my god, he just saves Renekton. I'm not really sure what the communication there was for the ult, but oh, rip Mundo once again. RIP Mundo, RIP Renekton. Shokya ended up saving Renekton with that really weird ultimate, but he kills him anyways. The curtain call, as it is likely to be a curtain call for them. Auto W. Okay. Flashed auto Q, I guess, because I assume he didn't have W. But this is just snowballing completely out of control. They have a 4,000 goal lead at 19 minutes and basically nowhere to go. Let's just look at really quickly how many mocks this Kindred has. Yeah, so this Kindred has 3 mocks. She's gonna get her 4th mock, I think, off of the Rift Herald, if I'm not wrong. So this Kindred with her 4th mock is gonna get some extra range, some extra AD, and she's gonna get even stronger with and then the Rift Herald, I assume, will be used in the top lane to get the first turret for Zuko and to snowball his lead even further and completely remove the Renekton for like any sort of like answer whatsoever. But hey, we're still not gonna count 14k out. We're going to be hopeful for their sakes and certainly pray that they're not falling to tilt with this 0-4-2 exhaust Mundo and this 0-2 supposed to be winning lane Renekton in 14k RTO. The Rift Herald with the Kindred did go back, so I'm thinking maybe they want to use a bot lane and further the lead of the bot lane because Jin does have his Infinity Edge, and that's really one of the strongest power spikes for Jin when he's able to get that. I hope he's going to be going for a double Infinity Edge build because that's the really strong build in meta right now. If he's able to get the turret for Jin, Leona will be able to engage whenever she pleases, and that just sets the stage for Ash Nami, one of the proactive picks on the side of 14k, to do something, to do nothing at all in this game. But yeah, we see the Kindred coming in. I assume she's going to just use the Rift Herald. Good sidestep by Ash, good flash to get out of that, but I would like to see a Rift Herald into Dragon, because that would be an ideal play. The Rift Herald will take down the turret, but I guess they're just going to Dragon directly because they don't really have much to worry about. Yeah, F for 14k indeed, chat. Oh god, the flash was down to Kira. He tried stepping up and he gets taken down. Well, it's gonna be a quick quarterfinal today. We're gonna end the game really, really quickly. 14k just not having the greatest of days. It's just looking really, 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 really sad. I cannot really emphasize on how many reallys I need to say to explain how really sad this is. Because there's really nothing else to be looking at in this game. Let's look at the goal leads. Set has about a 2,800 goal lead. The Kindred has a 1,300 goal lead and another kill. So that will make it a 1,900 goal lead. The Karma has a 1,300 goal lead. The Jin has a 3,000 goal lead. And the support also has a 400 goal lead. And LowNine just dominating completely. Like, whoever is going to end up facing LowNine in the semifinals certainly has something to worry about because they've shown that they're proficient in closing out games really fast if given the early lead and snowballing their lead further and further, attacking certain points that they know to be weak, and this Mundo is that again. Oh boy, I don't really know why this Mundo was picked. I don't really understand why he doesn't have flash. He instead has the exhaust. And this is just looking GG. Like, I would FF 100% in the next 2 minutes if I was 14k because they simply cannot actually do anything in this game. Like, what can they do? The Rift Herald is going to come up in the next 2.5 minutes. They cannot contest that. They're almost at a 10k gold at disadvantage. It's 9.7k. Sorry, man, don't mess up my math. But damn, man, like 10k goal lead, 13.5 minutes into the game, 15-2 on the score line. This has to be really, really demotivating for 14k. That's a really nice fun, Aditya. 14k. If they actually end up being behind into 14k, more than 14k gold, that will be hilarious. 14k, more than 14k gold behind. But damn, like, what? I mean, I know this is a tournament, but given the way they were stomped in game one, and given the way they are being like Renekton dead again, okay, wouldn't you just FF. Like, I mean, I don't want them to FF. I'm not trying to flame them. I understand that everybody has a bad day once in a while, and LowNine seem to be piling on the pressure by having an exceptionally good day in the way they're playing. They're executing everything they're doing perfectly, like almost no mistakes. But damn, 14k are having a really horrible couple of games. They're almost 14k gold behind. So they've reached. Oh, our Exolance is going to be facing LowNine. Oh boy, am I excited. I really, excuse me guys. Okay, the Ash ult finally comes in. They're making a proactive play. The Nami ult comes in. The Mundo running in, but he's just going to instantly die. Oh boy. the Kindred ult used just for fun. The set gets a really nice face breaker in, and he's gonna end up dying, but the Renekton dies too. And oh, the flash comes in for the Jin, and he mops up another kill. It ends up being a 1 for 3 for LowNine in a fight where 14K started it, and the only kill that they got was Zuko sorted inting under turret, which is completely fine. Don't get me wrong. They're 13 and a half thousand gold ahead. And I think 14K have basically given up at this point. Because they tried, like, with the Ashal to do something, and they can't really do anything. And, like, the dragon is coming up, dragon number 3, in terms of Cloud Dragon, which is a kind of sad dragon for everybody except Karma. Karma loves the Cloud Dragon, but nobody else likes the Cloud Dragon here. Oh, Mundo would love the Cloud Dragon, but he's certainly not gonna get the Cloud Dragon here. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Yeah, that Corplo certainly look out for Zuko if that Corplo is playing top lane, eh? Because while we've only seen one champion from Zuko in the set, he's certainly shown that he's a really, really good set player. I'd love to see what else he has to offer in the semifinals because I am sure that this South Asian Champions League, both sets of semifinals are going to be cracker of a game. And yeah, I do feel really bad for talking about the semifinals already, like it's a done game, but I would love to be through bronze by 14K here to if they actually manage to pull this back, but I genuinely don't believe that there is any sort of pulling back. I just noticed that the Kindred went for Manamune. I don't know if that's an actual like build or if Kindred is just trolling because of how far ahead they are. But the Kindred Manamune, okay, why not? Oh, 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 oh. Oh, this Mundo is gonna die. One more auto attack. Yep, dead. Shakya is dominating, and he's gonna get another kill. Q, Q, Q. No, okay, no Q. And they're gonna get the mid lane inhibitors 17 minutes in. This is, and oh, guys, it's time. It's time. 14K is 14K gold behind. GG, well played. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Why? Why is this? Oh, okay. That's 2 inhibitors down. 18 minutes in. Yeah, Crow, I agree with you. Manamune is good on every caster, but it's also such a slow item to be building on a jungler that you don't normally see it on junglers. But hey, Kindred is so far ahead in this game, it doesn't really matter at all. And they're just going for the Baron directly. I want to have a look at how many marks this Kindred has because, oh, they're not going for the Baron. What am I talking about? It's 25 kills in, but it's not 20 minutes yet. They're going for the second Rift Herald. And Kindred has, let's see, guys, how many marks does Kindred have? But where you go, Kindred? All right, the Kindred has 10 marks 18 minutes into the game. Uh, uh, 10, 10 marks, that's plus 3 in terms of her passive stacks. So, like, she gets plus 75, plus 25, plus 25 range, right? I think, yeah, I think I'm right on the numbers. But she gets the big range once and then the 2 small range buffs twice with 10 stacks. And this Mundo is dead again because he doesn't have flash. Alright. So, we're gonna name game 2. This Mundo is dead again because he doesn't have flash. Because this Mundo is dead again because he did not have flash. The 09 Mundo is just not looking great at all. I assume the Kindred is going for the Blade of the Ruined King next, which makes perfect sense. Shadow going Athene's Unholy Grail Ardent Sensor, which is what we expected him to go. And unfortunately, there's simply not much for us to talk about this game, given the fact that 3 inhibitors are down, a Rift Herald has spawned into the base, going for the end of the game, 19 and a half minutes in. Baron hasn't even spawned, guys, and they're looking to end the game. This is what a stomp looks like. You thought last game was a stomp? LowNine are just like, bro, sit, let me show you. Did you bring popcorn? Okay, go watch a movie after this because I'm sure your popcorn did not get over within these games. LowNine completely stomping 14K, and that's gonna be GG well played in what I think might be the fastest game ever in the South Asian Champions League. 20 minutes, 4 seconds, 3 seconds, and GG well played. Wow, I don't know what to say. That's just wow. So, guys, today we had a couple set of amazing games. If you want to see these teams in action, if you want to see Exolonsis Esports, one of the best teams in this tournament, and this Low9, who have played amazingly in action, tune in for the semifinals next weekend on Saturday, which I believe is the 1st of August, 2020. Right, I forgot the year, guys. Sorry, Corona has been a real mess in the head. But hey, it's going to be an amazing set of finals. Just quickly look at the damage charts over here. Zuko ended up doing the most damage in this game with 15k, and it's just looking really great. But that's going to be all for us for this. And it was really quick. I get to go back to, I maybe get to actually play a game of League of Legends myself instead of casting it for how fast these games were. But hey, GG well played, no 9. I'm sure 14k will be back. They had a bad day. But hey, let's not blame them if anybody is blaming them. But yeah, GG well played, no 9. We'll see you next Saturday. See you, take care, and stay at home.